What's up everyone, Jake Mahler here with Ski Tutorials. This is how I originally taught how to ski switch, was to kind of push your shoulders back and have both arms at your side, push your one arm back further than the other so you could see more, which isn't necessarily wrong for just skiing down the hill, but I'm going to get into why I think that you could do it a better way and how that'll help you that much more when you go to hit jumps and rails. So right here, notice how when I originally taught it, my arm's tucked way behind my side right here. You can't even see it's way behind here, and my head, my shoulders pushed way back. So in this next clip coming up in a second here, you'll notice how his hands are way in front of him and his shoulders aren't bent as much. So right here, his hands are in front of him; they're not tucked behind his side, and his shoulders, right here and here, they're not pulled completely far back. And the reason I go into that is because right here he's ready to set it. If he's going into a jump right now, all he has to do is use his arms to swing in this side and he's ready to go. Whereas in this clip, if I were to hit a jump right now, I'd have to bring this arm up in front, and then I'd have to go again and then swing it back with this arm and then set my trick. So notice how that's just a lot more movement. So I'd have to bring this arm over, and then after I do that, I would bring both arms and I'd set this way. And so with this, you're ready to go. You have an arm here, your shoulders are right, and all of a sudden you're ready to set a trick at any moment in time. So that's why it's important, and that's why I took the time to make this video, to show you that it's important to have your arms in front when you're trying to hit jumps and rails so that you're ready to set your tricks. So here's Dan Shelfleton, skiing switch. He's going to kind of explain what I just kind of went over right now. I kind of learned from him this new technique and why it's an improvement from what I said before. So here he is.
So we're talking about switch skiing. We're just going to talk about a couple of the most important things are staying in balance at all times and not turning too far around to see the hill. Try and keep your body pointed in the same direction as your skis and turn at the head, keeping your hips and shoulders square to your skis as much as possible. The reason we do that is so that as we're starting to learn to jump switch, we don't have to, you're minimizing your movement. So if I'm turned all the way around skiing like this, and I'm going to hit a jump, I have to turn all the way back here to wind up and then take off. It's excess movement. We want to minimize that so we minimize mistakes. So if we keep our hips and shoulders relatively square to our equipment, then all we have to do is reset a little bit with our arms, and now we're wound up and have power to take off.
So now after hearing all that, pay attention to this video of him skiing where his hands are in front, his head's kind of just peeking over his shoulder, and he's kind of balanced. So to go over everything, we talked about how what I said before is, it works well going down the mountain, but this is definitely way better if you're going towards, hitting jumps and rails. So here's Noah coming in to do a switch 5, and notice how his hand is kind of tucked behind him a little bit right there. And it's not going to be a huge deal, but watch, I want you to pay attention to how he's got to swing that now in front to set the trick. So as it plays in a second here, watch how he swings it in front, and then he swings it back left. So, it doesn't affect his trick. It, makes it still a 6 switch 5, but it's just something to think about, some excessive movement. Here's Max coming in, and his hand's right here, which is in front of where his is. It's not all the way like this, like we talked about in the other video, but it's enough to show that a little bit of difference, on that set, it does help. So this is just kind of how to apply that new rule I'm teaching, and it definitely works, and helps just eliminate some excessive movement. So it's not a big deal, but it's something to think about. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over. All the carving stuff and everything else I taught in the first video. It's still good stuff to learn and still stuff to do. It's just I wanted to point out the differences between skiing switch down the mountain and, learning how to hit jumps and rail switch. So with all that, please don't forget to head over to skitutorials.com for more info and more content. And also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube and follow my Instagram page, Ski Tutorials or Molsky17.